Yo, what is up, G Code? Welcome back to another video. And today, maybe even this week, we are in what appears to be Bitcoin territory. Um, I'm on the day chart here, and you can see the last 2 days, some crazy candles, some green price action. We really got past that golden pocket like we've talked about before. And I wanted to talk on today's video about knowing when to take profits and kind of timing your entries into coins that you may have researched and are hoping to start investing in. I don't know too much. I'm just kind of going to share with you guys how I lay out charts, how it kind of helps me navigate price entries and maybe where to take some money off the table and all of that. So for me, I really like to use my charts. I start on TradingView. It's free. It's very simple to use. I think even a lot of technical traders use it because there is so many add-ons and extra indicators and templates you can use for this. Um, so for me, when I always start with a new chart, here, let me pull up a new chart. I have Kusama KSM. So I zoomed out a little bit to get the whole scale. I'm on the 4 hour chart here. And for me, I always like to use, like I always talk about, the trend-based fib extension right here. So this, you're basically going to read price action based on the trends. So you want to start with the first point is going to be kind of where it starts to take off, the lowest point. So I pick somewhere right, I'd say here it's really the lowest that I see the best until it really starts picking up, right? You can kind of mess around with this after you lay it out. It doesn't have to be too exact. And then you're going to want to pick the highest top that it reached, where it peaked out to. Um, and that is going to be, I think, right there. Again, you can mess around with it after. We'll take a look and see what it looks like. And then the third one, you're going to do where it bottomed out here on this little run. So for me, I'm going to draw right here. Try to get as good as you can. You can zoom in afterwards and fine tune it just a bit. Again, we're on the 4 hour chart here, so it's not going to be too exact. And you are going to end up with something that looks like this. So that was a really quick charting method I would have used if I was in Kusama. And we'll look straight away. We can see the golden pocket we always refer to right here between 0.618, 0.65 fib levels. It's a smaller little pocket right here. And this is where price action usually becomes quite volatile. And this golden pocket is usually a place where I and a lot of other traders look to take profit. It's usually not the first, or it's usually not the, is it? I'm trying to say, I think first profit is usually around one right here. So I think it's going to be, for KSM, a lot of people have around 700 profit, long run. But short run, short term, in shorter terms, people are going to be looking, especially on the 4 hour chart here, in that golden pocket, just because of the fib cycle that a lot of algorithms, AIs, and maybe some experienced traders use when they decide where they're going to buy and sell. So if we look here, it actually works out pretty well. I've not seen this chart before, but we can see here it gets into that little pocket, it dips down pretty substantially, and that was last, it was June. So you would have been in the money pretty well if you sold here, because you were not going to see that high until literally the other day. So 2 days ago, it hit that pocket once again, and it is coming down. So again, it would have been really smart if you sold a little bit here. Definitely not a place to buy in or FOMO in at all. For me, that's kind of the first place I would start if I'm looking at where to take some profits off the table, especially if you copped within these bottom two ranges. And that's it's a good ROI regardless of if you wanted it to have 4x 5x gains right away. It's just not going to happen sometimes. So it's good to take a little money off the table. And for me, I kind of like to start around there personally. Again, you always got to do your own research and strategies, because everyone's got different risk allocation and just different contexts and how they trade and what they can afford to lose. So that's how I would start trading or charting a fresh chart. And then people are always like, all right, where do I buy? It's a fresh chart, how do I get into it? And I'll open up another one for that. Let's say we are looking at, let's do super. Let's do Cadena. I want to shout out, I pull it up, Yovi Kanovi, I want to say, for the recommendation on Cadena, KDA. This guy's recently just really gone on a run here. I know that. I don't even know if we need 4 hour for this. So for this guy, you can kind of tell right away, right? If it's not obvious, it's a little pumped. Obviously, it's going to got a long ways to go just because we're, starting this bull run. Um, but I think obviously it looks like there could be a better price entry. And for me, I'm going to start again with that fib, starting with the bottom part, the peak, and where right here it looked like it bottomed out. So really kind of fought against this 0.23 line for a little bit, and it's just kind of crashing down. Again, same thing here. So like a 1 retest, I don't know if that really tested it. 2 retests, so I wouldn't be surprised to see another retest before it can make it out. So I would probably start buying within this range, and to be even more precise, I look for a supply zone. So basically, I will just grab one of these horizontal rays here, and I will start looking kind of just for candlesticks that seem to have a trend of either bouncing off of or breaking through, and then I'll kind of play around with it. So I'll show you what I mean here. So I see a lot of sideways action here, right? It's kind of correlated, so I will find something, I think, even like this. So we draw like that. I see price action here. I see here it kind of broke through a little bit here, not as much. It kind of played around this area. Maybe a slight bounce right here, you can almost say. Again, kind of catapulting off of that again, bounce within this area, pushing through. You can kind of see the what I'm trying to set at, but again, right here, I think this line I would set for kind of a watch zone. If that's gonna break again, it's I wouldn't expect it to go further than this line, but I would expect it to definitely drop a little steeper below that. We can see here it tested, that line couldn't pull through, back down pretty heavy to 15.8. So, again, I don't know too much about this coin, so it's tough just to go from a purely technical analytic standpoint from this. But again, just kind of a really simple way to chart out stuff. You started with these this trend-based fib cycle or chart. Trend-based Fibonacci extension. So it's the second one on trading tools under this little icon right there. You mark that, and then you just kind of find a supply zone, places where it really just it's testing, support every time that it kind of has a bounce. We kind of bounce off here, doesn't make it, goes through, bounce off here, and again, it looks like it bounced off there, and it really pushed. I know, literally an hour ago, maybe 2 hours ago, past that point 236. So I don't think it's going to be able to go, 23 straight away, just because of the market that we're in right now with Bitcoin pumping, and this isn't obviously like a mainstream coin like Ethereum, or probably just Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think are gonna have a nice little run, and then layer ones will get their action before we see a lot of other stuff. But I don't know what I'm talking about. These are just from looking at charts. This is what my guesses are. So for this, I would say you did buy in right here, right? You bought in, you timed it out, you saw this video. You charted another coin that looked good for you. Where do you start selling, right? And that's the first thing that you kind of want to figure out when you buy into a coin. And a lot of times when it retests these levels, like it does right here, like it's doing right now, I usually want to take profits the first time it tests these levels. So if I would have bought, if I knew it spiked and I waited and I copped a low here because I had this line set up, this was 2 days ago. It retested this here, I would have sold it around here because, a lot of times it's not going to make it through to this range for consolidation. It usually comes down one more time, bounces off, keeps going. Again, we're still seeing a little bit of higher lows, so I'm not completely bearish on this, but I do not know if it's going to have the volume or price action to keep going to 0.382. So it would have been smart to sell here. Again, you could have watched for this line, bought if it did hit that, or if it did hit that, wait for the dip to go even lower and then buy some. Wait for confirmation again, I don't know if I would have bought some here. That kind of would have been a little bit of a trap. But, if you just start DCing in, that's a huge part. And I'll go over 2 other big aspects that I haven't really touched on yet, which is dollar cost averaging. And using right here, this bottom part of the chart is an RSI, a Stochastic Rsi indicator. The first thing, so dollar cost averaging, I know a lot of you guys are familiar with that. It's just buying in different sums once in a while, right? So if I have $1,000 to put into this coin, I might put 250 here, 250 here. I bought a little bit up here, 250, and then a little bit, 250 there, right? Because you're not buying all at once where it's right here. And then if it goes below this line, you're, below the money. You're at a negative ROI. So the smartest thing, and this is a lot of crypto people say, a lot of trading people say, this isn't just like a personal thing, is to really kind of slowly start entering positions that you believe in. I wouldn't just necessarily throw everything all at once, just because price action is going to be so volatile right now with crypto. So I think that is definitely a key thing to do. And as well as this little indicator on the bottom here, I don't know how to describe exactly stochastic RSI. I know it uses a certain sort of oscillator to measure the strength of the RSI, which is the relative strength index. And I guess you could basically say it measures the bullish and bearish sentiment about that certain candle. So right here, the higher it gets, the more bullish it's tended to be, and it goes from 80 here, as you can see, to about, I want to say 20. And when it goes below 80, as you can see, it's above. When it hits below 80 again, it's probably going to go a little bit further. It's probably going to drop. That's what traders use a lot of times these references for. And again, 30 or 20 actually. I know sometimes it's 70-30 for stocks, but for crypto, they have it for 20, just for this, I guess. And that when it does come back up that line, it does become more of a bullish sentiment. We see here, it does cross that line, and we look up here. That was right here. Again, it did top out, but we just didn't really see much price action going on until right here when it really broke out and it got above that 80 zone, and we did see a little bit of a green candle price action here. So the RSI is kind of a good indicator, especially for buying into positions, because right now you can see it's near the top. Probably not the best place to buy, as all these tops kind of do come to eventual bottoms. And this is when you want to buy, is these bottom places right here, as you can see right here. Still, I wouldn't really buy too much in this blue range. And then selling, again, you can kind of use this for your advantage. When it does, see it does top out twice here. These both would have been great places to sell, right? This one, not too bad. You did miss out on this, but if you didn't know it was going to bounce on the top with this RSI, buy some more. And that's just like more experienced, advanced technical stuff that I don't even, I don't know how to measure or predict that. So those strategies always kind of give me a good idea of knowing when to get in a coin, knowing when to start coming out of a coin. And again, I don't just come out of a coin to, sit on this money or tether or whatever it may be. It's always good to, especially right now, maybe reinvest a little bit into newer coins that really haven't had this pump yet before, and maybe just kind of hold some, because a lot of it is going to, fluctuate pretty drastically. So if you're sitting on a little bit of tether, don't just go and cash it out into your bank account and go spend it. Maybe sit on it, wait for some good dips and coins that are strong and ones that you believe and have conviction in, because the same thing with NFTs. I know we do a lot of NFTs, and G-code is just like the difference between paper and diamond handing stuff, right? You could lose a lot of money either way, but it's the research and just the conviction you have behind it that really judges whether you make or lose money. So moving on from Cadena, thank you again for the suggestion. We'll just look over a few of these charts that we've been looking over. Again, nothing too exciting. We're just kind of bouncing off. Again, look, it looks almost like it tried here, maybe a third bounce. I wouldn't be surprised if Polka City got down at 1.4 again before it did much action. Again, Polka markets, we're in this part of the channel right now, which is, pretty good. RSI is looking a little low, so not a bad time if I was going to buy in, for example, if I was interested in Polka markets. So, I would zoom in here. You could even go a little low in further, scope that in. 15-minute mark, you're even, bottom of the RSI index here. But again, these aren't always going to be accurate. These are just kind of ways to judge whether it's a good time to buy or sell, because people will get into coins and FOMO and they don't realize they bought at the top here when the RSI is high, or they're selling when it's low, waiting for something to happen. They just gotta kind of take a look at the chart sometimes, zoom out to the bigger picture, and I know that is something that is very important with crypto trading, especially with today, and that is because, as we've seen, Bitcoin and Ethereum both are just ripping to new all-time highs. And, all in all, the crypto market's not doing too hot today. So if your coin's red, it's a lot of a consolidation today, even for these top 100 coins. And again, we're in a lot of dot, eco chain coins, and we talk about that a lot on this channel, is Polkadot and the coins in those ecosystems. Well, yeah, dot's not even up today that much either. So it's down 0.8%. So if you're, small cap coins down a little bit today, don't be worried or tripping out. It's always good to go on a chart and just kind of see what price action is doing. You know what I'm saying? Like PBR, Polka Bridge here. It's doing really good actually compared to the rest of the market. It's not doing great in terms of what we've seen recently from this, but it really just kind of held this point 0.5 line very strongly here. And again, talking about that golden pocket, if you would have taken profit here, you were, taking profit at one of the highest points of Polka Bridge has been. And again, I'll pull this RSI up, and it looks pretty high, and it's not doing too well right now. So I definitely wouldn't buy right here. I think it has a little bit of ways to come down. Sometimes it just has to bounce off again. Maybe it'll retest this level. It's not a certain guarantee thing when you TA coins. It's a good way to maybe get better positioning in coins when you dollar cost average and you figure out when a good time is to buy. Figure out good exit points so you can have that money on hand for bigger dips and crashes, and just taking that profit in case what if crypto just all fell apart tomorrow? It's not, but what if Bitcoin just ripped and all these alters went down 50%? You never know, and you'd be happy that you took a little bit into Ethereum or Tether or even BNB at that point. So let's see if I have anything else to talk about in the video. Yeah, and another thing for the price targeting on Fib cycles here, or Fib levels, we will look at Kusama, for example. I don't know if this is exactly the same for stocks and crypto, but doing these, a lot of price target is going to be focused around the 1 mark, like we said, but what is considered the sweet spot is going to be the 1.68. So we haven't really entered the true bull run yet, so I think you'd expect some crazy price action, and I think there will be quite a bit of sell walls right below this from a lot of institutions, maybe AI, just knowing that there is going to be a little bit of sell-off when it gets here as it considered the sweet spot. I'm not saying it's going to get there, but I have seen some charts, and I could try to pull some up that you can see it just kind of hits off barely this line and comes down a little bit. And I think we're waiting to see that on most of these coins. They kind of have their pump consolidating for a little bit here. We're just playing within the levels before the fun begins. But again, that's kind of how I would read into a chart. And I can do it one more time just real quick on Chainlink, so you guys just kind of get a little bit more comfortable with that. So again, I'm going to start with the trend based here. I like this bottom here. I like this top here. I like this bottom here. Very simple. We see it broke through this 0.38 zone right here. And it's retested the bottom level here. Let's see. It's just that about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's tested this pretty heavily. It tested this, it broke down, so I won't really count this section when I'm looking to see for confirmation, just because it's good in terms of TAing to see like a triple bounce off the same line. It's usually a pretty bullish indicator. So we can see here kind of 1, 2 broke through, 3 kind of did break 3 after that third one. And again, we're just kind of chilling in this zone. I think there's a lot more to be coming from for Link, especially just based off of the prior May run that we had with it. And again, this is the day candle market. So sorry about that. I just had someone at the door. But going on. So yeah, this would be a quick way to just kind of chart Chainlink if I was looking at it from perspective of looking again entry in or taking profits. But long story short, there's just so much going on in the market right now with shorts and liquidity shakes, and there's just so much that you can't really predict as a smaller retail investor who can draw only so many graphs and have so much information. So it's just really important at the end of the day to obviously none of this is financial advice, but just to dollar cost average and hold positions that you actually have conviction for, because a lot of people will just lose money because they get scared. They don't really see the big picture. They just see this and they just think it's going down to zero again. But you zoom out, you put a nice little chart in here, you see it's bouncing off this line. We're finding some more consolidation here. We're about to bounce up off of that. Everything starts to look a little bit better, and you become a little bit more of the knowledgeable and well-trained trader in this crypto market that we're in. So, you know, again, just DCA, hold if you're convicted. And, you know, when the profit comes, it's, you know, everyone's got their own levels, right? If this is just such little money for you that you're throwing out here and you can hold until it gets to whatever, that's cool. But if you're putting a lot of money, you just want to make a quick 2-3x, you know, then start position yourself to where you're going to take those profits from. So again, that is just kind of the fib and the RSI, just equating to how I do things. And again, this was a suggestion actually from JQ in the Discord. So thank you, JQ, for asking about taking charting in general. So I kind of wanted to make this quick little guide for you guys. And I'll end it with just some tweets from people that are a lot smarter than me. Will Clemente, very smart dude, and he's like very young too, maybe 18 or 17. Nonetheless, one of the smartest, 19, there you go, analytics on just Bitcoin in general. So we're seeing a lot of consolidation on Bitcoin, which could be, you know, dangerous for some of these altcoins. So if you're not ready for a 15 to 30 or even more downside, then probably not in the right position. You know, maybe Ethereum's a little bit better for you, but if you've done the research, you know, and you're convicted in what you're holding, and you know it's a solid project that's going to have an upside sooner than later, you know, then I think we're all going to make it at that point. So again, another Bitcoin tweet I will show you. This is just kind of, he talks about increased whale accumulation are these dark marks, and the lighter yellow are going to be predominantly from smaller retail entities. And we see a lot of whale accumulation here, which is a very bullish sign. Just because, like you can see here, they accumulate right before they think it's going to peak, and they're not really buying much until they do see like a low in that time. So again, things are looking up for Bitcoin, which is in general going to be looking up for the crypto market itself. But you just can't be expecting these crazy gains overnight. You just kind of have to start understanding the cycles behind it. You know, understanding that there are people and machines that we are competing against that are smarter, that have more data than us. So it's very tough to time the market right now, especially. And the worst thing to do is to get burned by trying. So yeah, again, thanks for watching, you guys. If you have any other questions, just let me know. Join the Discord, tweet me. I will put the socials and the links below. But I'll probably have a new video up soon, just kind of updating more of the Polkadot ecosystem coins. I know that the auctions are coming up soon, so it's a very exciting time. But that's it for now. I'll see you guys later.